This is enough money to put a deposit down on a house, and I managed to lose that on a Monday morning. Hello, I'm Hayden Bluefoot and welcome to the channel. So here we go with the highlight reel of 2021, the biggest lessons, the biggest challenges I've had in the year, looking at some of the times I've made incredible amounts of money, lost ridiculous amounts of money, a book that's completely changed the way I think about property, so stay tuned for that, as well as much more around things that have helped my mind develop, my mind grow, the three biggest things that I've done to help find a lot more inner fulfillment, inner happiness, inner peace. So we'll dive straight in and get through the list of the biggest challenges of 2021, as well as the biggest achievements I've found in 2021. Firstly, I fell back in love with skateboarding. So as I became more and more obsessed with working, I suppose, I lost the love for skating, and just it gradually faded out and became something that went from thinking about it every moment, every day, skating every other day, unless I was injured. But it became something that was like once a week, once a month, once every 3 months, and then even rarer than that. And when I lost all my staff and then found I had a lot more time, I wasn't working so much, I had the time to get back into skating, and that's where I found it was a massive life hit for me. For two things that inspired it was, one, losing all the staff and seeing my business come back so many steps and realize that the only, like, from an outside perspective, the only thing that had developed was my mind, which you can't really see, but the business was just fallen and crumbled back down again to where it was years prior. In addition to that, it was having a conversation with an old friend about a trip to Copenhagen, and just in that reminiscence, they said, "Oh, do you remember that time this happened?" And we realised it was the time that I didn't go on the skate trip because I was too busy working, so I was never there. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, I'm back where I was years ago. I missed out on this massive opportunity, this great trip that would have been full of memories. And so that's where it inspired me to make sure I can spend as much time as I can making memories, getting back on a skateboard, hanging out with my friends, hanging out with family, just doing things finding ways to ensure that your time is spent doing things that you love and you enjoy, and not just about working constantly, but still trying to build a career and become efficient and build wealth in a sustainable way. In 2021 is when I started trading, day trading, trading specifically Tesla stock, and that's become a great journey. It's given me an opportunity to find something to focus on, to enjoy, and allow my business mind to go crazy, as I've documented all the data with every month, create a spreadsheet that allows me to look at all different components that I've dived into in another video. But just being able to express that part of myself and do it in a way that can be, well, I suppose great bonuses, make money from it. You can lose a lot of money, but you can make a lot of money. But also, it doesn't take too much time, so it means that, and it's not dictated by certain aspects of the day or certain time frames of the day, so I can be quite flexible. If I'm not available at certain points, or if I want to spontaneously go out and do something, I can, because I've got the time freedom and I can just do it from my phone anywhere. But yeah, it's been a great journey as well, just one of an emotional journey in terms of being able to put large sums of money on the table and manage that emotion there, and see how the strategy's working out, and formulate that strategy based on performance, and look at what's gone wrong, what's gone well, where did I lose money, where did I make money, and what is the reason I lost money there, and really analysing it and realising it comes down to emotions, and being able to remove emotions from the equation to ensure that I can advance in trading. Ordering a Tesla, obviously, it's been a huge exciting point of 2021 as we come up to wrap up the last of the year. So in December, I've ordered my Tesla Model 3 that will be arriving hopefully around about May next year. Expect a lot of videos on my experience taking it on trips, but it's just a lovely way to finish the year with a purchase. Yes, it's purchase of an object and it's materialist in essence, but it's just purchasing a product that I know aligns so well with my own life values, my own life mission, with Tesla's mission of accelerating the world to sustainable energy, to be part of that mission, both in the way I'm connected to that mission in the form of owning stock, in the form of owning the products, in the form of creating videos and content around the company. So it's ties it up into a nice little bow that's got these 3 points of which I've connected to the company. Really beautiful to know that I've ended the year with that order, so that in the next year it means having a Tesla, taking it out, being able to drive it, being able to be part of that living embodiment of this mission I want to be on. And as well, it's the facilitator to so many different road trips where I can explore more. At the moment, I drive a van with 2 seats, so if I want to go somewhere I can take one person. So generally it'll be a case of who can drive there because I can't. So with the Tesla, it eradicates that problem. It means that I can just say, right, hop in everyone, whoever's available, there's 5 seats, fill them up, we'll go skate somewhere, we'll go on this trip somewhere, whatever it is. It can be a case of having all that space to go and having that larger range, like twice as much range to say, yep, we can just go here for the day. I haven't got to think about charging up anywhere. I haven't got to think about how much of the accelerator am I using. None of those concerns, just get in the car and go. A book that completely changed how I think about property. From reading this one book, I literally went from a complete novice on property with no idea how I could begin property investing. I didn't even know if I could do it personally or through a limited company, not a clue. And I would be completely dumbfounded and lost sitting in a conversation around property investment with property investors. And after reading this one book, I now feel confident, and I was in a position to be confident enough to actually sit down with experienced property investors and be able to hold a conversation on strategies, on the markets, on different ways of getting into properties, as well as different issues that could be manifesting in the economy that would impact the strategy and moving forward, all from just reading one book. In addition to that, it also gave me such a great depth and understanding around the financial sides of property investing, in terms of with certain amounts of capital you have, what you can do with that capital and how you can use different strategies to work to your advantage, whether you've got time and money, or no time but money, or no money and more time. And that's just given me such a clear landscape of how I can move forward with it, and depending how aggressively I want to move into property investing, and look at the time frames of, am I looking for the next few years, decades, or what. And of course you'd want to know what that book is. Not only that, the benefit of this book is updated every year by the author to give the latest updates on what's changed in the property market, which has been a huge benefit through the pandemic, as a lot has changed, especially with renting, in terms of the rights that tenants and landlords, how it's changed and adapted through the pandemic due to obviously all this stresses and concerns and constraints that have been put on people's livelihoods, their jobs, their careers. And that book is Rob Dix's Complete Guide to Property Investment. It's absolutely phenomenal. I recommend giving it a read. If you are interested in property, literally this is the best place to start. Grab a copy, have a read, and as I said, it's updated every year. So this is the 2020 edition. It talked a lot about the pandemic and the laws that changed around how you can file your tax returns and what you can put through as expenses, what you can't put through expenses, what rights tenants have, what rights landlords have. Grab a copy. Shout out to Rob Dix for writing such an amazing book. The next points kind of work into 3 together. So this 2021 has been a year where I started journaling, I started meditation, and I started therapy. 3 things that I go on about massively, about the huge benefits they've had for my own mindset of finding inner peace, inner happiness and fulfillment, and just being able to find I've got such a balance of emotions now. And it's helped me increase my empathy, my sympathy, my understanding in so many different aspects of life, and as well helped me just on my journey of dealing with stresses and issues, challenges, problems, and relationships, and just finding ways to improve them all, and just feel that I'm a much more balanced person, much happier person, and I feel that as a result, just in the few months I've been doing it, that I have become more of a value in, how do I want to structure, like more of a valued person in the sense that I can bring more, I can offer more, and it's just a more pleasant experience to be around me. I think, like, having done all of these things and stuck with them, I've become someone that's nicer to be around. Yeah, journaling to be able to just unravel your thoughts, unravel your mind, think about your thinking, and as well improve it over time and start to see your thinking become more in depth, more analytical, and be able to break down certain situations better. And if you do have altercations or problems with people, is to be able to look at that, analyze it and assess and come from and understand people's standpoint and have more empathy with them. Like literally a minute ago, I saw a van drive past, a tradesman van drive past and stop at my house and then start taking photos of my van. And so instantly I'm like, animal in me is like, right, who's this person? Let's find out what they're going to do to my van. But then when I think about it with more empathy, it's like, well, this is the nature of their lifestyle, what they've been brought up, what they understand. And yes, the likelihood is, well, equally it could be nothing. It could be, the chances are the reasons you would stop and take photos of a tradesman's van is because you want to break into that van. I don't think they're going to share it around with their friends and say, look how pretty the van is. It's going to be because they think there's some tools inside that they can take and then sell or use themselves. So just, there's a lot of anger and frustration, but then understand that people will come from different backgrounds and that's the livelihood that people have grown up with, and it might be the only thing they understand. So Hopefully I just don't have tools stolen, so let's pray. Meditation, of course, to be able to work in sync. It's weird because they complement, well, all three complement each other so well. With meditation, to be able to sit in peace, sit in silence, remove thoughts, or depending what type of meditation you're doing, but often remove thoughts from your mind, allow them to escape, and just be in the moment and the presence and the sensation of that second that's going by. Complement that with then analysing your thoughts deeply through journaling, and then being able to sit down with a therapist and be able to evaluate those and gain the perspective of a trained professional, an unbiased perspective on your thoughts, on your emotions, and how to find the opportunities and negate the issues and move forward. Another highlight was to actually be prepared for the holidays this year. I think I talked about in one of the Vlog My Minds, was that this has been the first year in multiple years where I've actually been able to be prepared for the holidays, to think about gifts, to think about presents that I can get people, mainly experiences, like especially for my girlfriend, being able to actually have ideas. She's used to getting presents in like February that were just about thought of and remembered and months late, whereas this year I actually managed to think of some great ideas, I feel, that are really important and will create a lot of great memories in the months to come as we come into 2022. So it's been really wonderful to actually have the time and not be rushed around, panicked and manic about managing a team, getting the diary booked, ensuring all the works are going to run smoothly and not have people sick, all these different challenges. So it's been quite wonderful. And of course, 2021 has been a year that I've journeyed into creating content, which has been really, really eye-opening as well. And it's tied in so well, as I mentioned, with journaling, meditation, and therapy. Having content is just a way that you think about your presentation. I'm at the start of it all, and it's a way for me to be creative. I've always been such a creative person. I studied art for years, so I was always painting, drawing, and analysing my thoughts, my ideas around that artwork, and just going completely mental around, or just letting every creative juice flow and go wild. And I have let go of that. Business, you kind of do it in certain aspects, but different. Whereas creating content is a lot more around that creativity, with coming up with ideas for videos, how you'll structure them, how you'll introduce them, how you make a thumbnail. Thumbnails are always really fun. I find a lot of enjoyment in making them and coming up with different ideas for them. And I can just see in the 25-ish videos I've done is how my knowledge and understanding and skills in creating thumbnails has improved vastly. They're still like obviously very beginner, but even if you just scroll through the videos on the channel, you'll see how they've just come along, just improved so much, and they're so much better than what they were. They were terrible. I mean, they're less than terrible, but they were very terrible. So that's kind of been the big highlights of my year. It's been really exciting. I really enjoyed the year, and I look forward to 2022. But obviously, with a lot of enjoyment comes a lot of challenges. So let's dive into the biggest challenges of 2021. Firstly, of course, something I've gone on about is losing all my staff. And this is something that I really want to dive into through content and looking at, in terms of like business strategies and business content, is looking at staff and what the issues I had around both recruiting and retaining staff members, and see if I can break down how I could have managed better as a leader, as a manager, as an employer, but also through the whole strategy and the whole process of like how you recruit the people you're looking for, and what other issues could it be external. Obviously this was all going through the midst of a pandemic, and so there's all kinds of emotions being challenged, all kinds of financial challenges, mental challenges, all these different things that we all battled together that felt so separate, obviously it being isolated from each other. So I really do want to dive into that more, but it's definitely it was the biggest mental and emotional strain, I'd say, for myself this year, was just seeing every single staff member one by one just go from the company and move on elsewhere. So although it did lead to a lot of opportunities, and I would say now it's put me in a much better position, I've got a completely different direction I'm taking my life, one that's much more enjoyable and around inner happiness and fulfilling my time with activities I really love. Empathy has been one, just in terms of understanding, and this I think ties in well with my previous point of managing staff and retaining staff, or their lack of, but just having an understanding of human emotions is something I've always been I feel robotic, and when I do things I'm so focused and so obsessed that I will just do whatever it takes to get something done. And I try and, I suppose in leading people, will be like, right, if you could just do half of what I'm doing, but then what I'm doing is so obsessive and so driven and so almost aggressive in getting things done that people are not always capable of that, and not necessarily aren't capable of that, but just when you put yourself, Gary Vee speaks on this a lot in terms of if you're an employer and with employees, is your expectations of your employees. Like, your employees are literally there as a job or as a career to be paid to do something, and you own the business. It's your baby, it's your child, it's the thing that you've created and focused and put so much of your time and energy on. It's not none of your employees' concerns about that. It's just, for a lot of people, especially in my industry, it's just a job. It's like something they enjoy doing, but it's a means to an end. And it's like, right, I'll go to work, I get paid, not really focused on anything else. It's just, can I get paid at the end of the month? And everyone's different. Everybody has different directions to that, and everyone wants to feel, some people want to feel more connected into the group. And I think that is one thing, is there was this snowball effect of once one leaves, suddenly someone else leaves, and then it's just like no point being here because everyone leaves. But anyway, so empathy, I feel like I've come a long way, especially with my points of starting meditation, journaling and therapy, of being able to understand people a lot more, and hence why I said about I feel I'm a much nicer person to be around now. Hopefully, anyway. One of my biggest sucky moments of 2021 was losing £18,000 on a lovely Monday morning on my way to holiday. So as you can imagine, that really put a down on the holiday, and a lot of stress and concern, and moved or set me on a pace of a lot more reflection over the holiday on that moment of losing so much money. Not only that, but then the results afterwards, this was through trading obviously, but yeah, I entered more trades, which then went into margin calls where I was stuck panicking, thinking I was going to lose a further 20 odd grand or so. So quite an emotional time, one of like high emotional tensions, and just finding that you've got to come to terms with losing that vast sum of money. Like, this is enough money to put a deposit down on a house, and I managed to lose that on a Monday morning. But it taught me a lot, and to be fair, the silver linings and like finding positivity in every experience, it meant I knew it would make a great video and great content, and hopefully it would be really helpful to someone that is on a journey, like in business, entrepreneurship or trading, whatever it is. But it's just about handling massive losses, which has inspired me for a video about, actually, I've talked about the video of losing that amount of money, but actually to dive deep into the emotions and the mentality around losing that sum of money and how to handle it and how to move forward from it. So there we go, the wrap of the biggest challenges and the highlights of 2021 for me, what the experience has been. And I'll dive into next the greatest excitements I have for 2022 and moving forward, and what I look forward to in the new year and across the next 12 months. So stay tuned for that. I hope this has been beneficial. And I definitely would advise, whether you journal or not, but just dive into what have been your highlights of 2021, what have been your biggest challenges, and what are you most looking forward to in 2022. And if you are looking forward to things in 2022, what can you do to ensure that they are achieved in some sort of plan or goals, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a New Year's resolution, it can just be about things you look forward to. It could be more time with family, more time with friends, it could be making more money, it could be finding a new hobby. What is that hobby going to be? But just, I found that actually sitting down, putting these points out and evaluating and really reflecting on the year was so wonderful, and it was such a beautiful time to just reflect and realise how great of a year it's been. Despite the pandemic, there have been a lot of great points that hopefully we can all sit there and find some really great golden nuggets of experiences and times we've had over the year. So have a wonderful new year, and I hope you have some great goals for 2022. Time goes too quickly. Bye.